What is up, NBL Network? It's the 29th of December. That's right, it's a Thursday. NBL broadcast number 39 for NBL Live. And coming up next, we got Bob and the Arizona Cardinals, who are currently 2-0, going into Oakland against the 0-2 Project Fat Oakland Raiders. It's your host, Bomber, co-host, Sonny. Stay with us. We got that and much more.
Nobody comes into this house without paying the price.
Not here! Not ever!
Welcome everybody to NBL Live. I'm Sonny Weaver alongside Bomber for this matchup between the Arizona Cardinals and the Oakland Raiders. Bomber, both teams sitting at 0-2. Somebody needing to win here to try to stay in this. Cardinals at 2-0. The Oakland Raiders have had a lot of struggles this season so far. The Cardinals have found some fortunes this year. What are we looking at this game to determine who's going to come out on top?
Well, it's really simple. It's going to come down to the 4th overall pick in NBL Season 21 rookie draft. That's right, Allen James out of LSU, the 6'6", 225-pound rookie, has been killing it. This guy's posted a QBR of 107 last week against division rival Seattle Seahawks, in which he threw a touchdown and threw one interception, but he's going to put up big numbers against Oakland tonight. You know why? Because Oakland's given up 35-plus points per game right now, and they can't stop the pass.
So speaking of Allen James and his rookie campaign so far, while his numbers not horrible, not great, a lot of things going on there. Had a good game last week. The one thing you got to watch out for, and anytime you get a rookie quarterback in this situation, 8 sacks given up so far. This guy's had a rough year as far as trying to stay upright. Khalil Mack's obviously lurking on the other side of this ball. The question is, can the Cardinals actually protect James in the pocket?
I think they will. I think Khalil Mack, he just signed a big contract extension. Sonny, you got the numbers on that contract extension he just signed, him and Amari Cooper. So they just signed big deals. They should be motivated to come out and play. And Arizona's known for giving up some sacks, but I don't think it's going to be a huge issue because his defense just has so many holes in the secondary.
Yes, Khalil Mack, 6 years, $94.7 million, and Amari Cooper, 7-year, $90.1 million. So big money coming out. And on the first play of the game, that's going to be a pass out to the sideline by James. And that was a beautiful pass there for 20 yards on the first play of the game. John Brown, Jerron Brown with the first pickup of the game. And that Oakland pass rush was getting on to James there, but he gets it away quickly. That's going to be a first down on the play. Now, we've talked about this rookie quarterback. Some of them call him Sunshine because of his locks. But you'll see there they just hand the ball off. And that's going to go to the running back, Johnson. Now, interesting to note, the Cardinals go out to free agency, and they do bring in Charles Sims III, probably the best free agent halfback on the market right now. Some are wondering, is that an indication that Johnson may be a little banged up early in the season, or are they preparing for life without Johnson, as Johnson is on a contract year right now?
Well, first and foremost, I want to give a shout-out to the NBL Network guys in the audience right now. We have some great YouTube content creators. That's Uber YouTuber, one of our favorites, and along with Rain and Ravens in the chat right now. What's up, guys? Chino also in the chat. But as you mentioned, let's talk about the history of Arizona, Sonny. Their halfbacks get hurt. Every year you see 2, 3 go down every season. So I think they're just preparing for the inevitable halfback injury that Bob has had over the last couple seasons in the NBL.
And we brought it up earlier, that pressure on the rookie James, and the Oakland Raiders defense does get there quickly, and that does cause an incompletion on the play. So that's going to set up 2nd and 10 here from the Oakland 28. Yeah, you mentioned injuries to running backs in Arizona. We also mentioned that this is Johnson's last year, contract year here as he takes the handoff there. Do you think the injuries are going to play into whether or not the Arizona Cardinals are going to give him the big contract he's looking for this offseason?
You know, it might not. It might, because, you know, you're playing run by committee due to injury. So how much can you invest in this guy if you can't fully trust him to stay healthy throughout the year? Now, as we've been talking, Sonny, look where the Cardinals already are. They're already on the 26th. They're about to approach the red zone right now, in a 3rd and 8 right now. But I want to say this. The Raiders have been giving up so much, and there's a first down for Arizona. Allen James looking very nice in the pocket right there. they're giving up so much. They're 32nd in the league. They're giving up 37 points per game. In the early season, mind you, we're only in week 3 right now. But they just give up points, man. This team, they're not too bad against as far as yards, but they just find a way to give up points, and that comes from their offense turning the ball over. So when I see Arizona walk down the field right now so easily, I think, man, this is going to put pressure on the offense as it just throws a bullet. Touchdown to Michael Floyd, the leading reception and yards leader for the Arizona Cardinals as they go up a quick 7-0. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Derek Carr, and this is when the turnovers start happening.
Yeah, the rookie James faced pressure Khalil Mack right in his face as he makes that throw, beautiful throw with the pressure in his face for the touchdown. So Arizona is going to go up 7-0 here on the first drive of the game in Oakland. And this is where we're going to get to see Derek Carr. Now, Carr has had a bad season up to this point, 3 TDs, 7 interceptions. But what's interesting to point out with those 7 interceptions, 4 have been returned for touchdowns. So a lot of bad things happening in Oakland right now. And look no further than the -8 turnover differential. That's something that's going to have to get corrected if they want to compete this year.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the offense. The turnovers have been killing this team, and I think they get down a little bit and they start trying to force the ball down the field, and Carr's not making his reads. They went into the offseason and they signed a bunch of wide receivers and receiving tight end. They got Eifert, they got John Brown, they brought in Jordy Nelson. I mean, they did a complete overhaul as he forces right there and almost picked on a deflection, trying to force it to Tyler Eifert. So right on cue, hashtag Carr overrated. He hasn't been the same, Sonny, since 2 seasons ago when he got mopped up by the Steelers in the AFC Championship, and then they failed to make the playoffs last year. So there's something going on in this offense, and he just does not look comfortable.
Yeah, and like you mentioned there, that was a force to Tyler Eifert, and I think that's been an issue that Derek Carr's dealt with this year, and that's predetermining throws here. So we're going to get the handoff to Latavius Murray, who's brought down on the play, so not a whole lot happening there. And that's interesting to point out as well. Latavius Murray, he's running at a 5.4 yard per touch average, so he's not bad. But at the same time, he's only had 20 carries so far this season, so they've really not let him get into a groove yet. With Carr throwing so many interceptions, you would think at this point they'd try to get Murray a little more involved, knowing that he is one of the better backs in the league.
Yeah, it stands out when I see all these turnovers from Derek Carr. Then I see a guy like Latavius Murray averaging 5.5 yards per carry. As you mentioned, it's like, we got to get him going as Carr finds over the middle, finds veteran Jordy Nelson wearing that black silver, looking pretty nice there, number 87. Jordy Nelson makes his debut on NBL Live in a Raiders uniform.
Yeah, and let's talk about the offseason for the Oakland Raiders, because they went out and they spent big. Obviously, we talked about what they've spent so far this year. But they bring in Jordy Nelson. They bring in John Brown, who I was confused with earlier because the former Cardinals now playing for the Oakland Raiders. They bring in John Brown. They bring in Tyler Eifert. So they bring in a lot of guys on this offensive side of the ball to try to give Carr the weapons he needs as Murray breaks a run up the middle there to the 46-yard line. Carr's got the weapons to succeed. The offensive line is built to succeed. You've got to question if maybe the coaching is lacking in Oakland at this point, because you're seeing regression. 2 years ago, the Oakland Raiders win the AFC West. Last year, they missed the playoffs, and this year, they're looking a little rough early on in the season.
Yeah, they're looking rough. I mean, you see what happened last season where they kept the core together and it just did not work out. Hashtag Carr overrated was trending on the NBL network all across Twitter. And they went out this season, they said, we're going to make a conscious effort because we have the O-line to give him the pieces and the athleticism on the outside, a better tight end. They went out and they spent all this money, and now you're looking, and then you have the growth that you have to worry about now. Now you have to say, okay, so we got the pieces in place. How long before they can actually come together and show some chemistry as a team? And that's yet to be seen because early this season, it's looking like the same old Raiders.
So the Raiders complete a pass there to Amari Cooper on the play for 6 yards. Amari Cooper currently facing a 10-game suspension. Right now he is playing today as he waits the appeals process. Things do not look good for him, though. This offense, I think, came into the year knowing that Cooper was going to be suspended, so they stocked up on the weapons to provide for Derek Carr. But while you have Cooper, it would seem that you're going to try to get him involved here early in this game, early in this season, knowing you may not have him for a large chunk of this season.
I want to give a shout out to the chat right now. Cortez Logan. He's number one prospect in the grid right now, working his way up to the NBL. The grid is the development league for the NBL. He's been grinding and working out there, doing some content with the NBL network. We're really looking forward to his top 10 highlights for each season moving forward.
Derek Carr throwing here on 3rd and 3, and it looks like it's to Cooper, but he's going to come up a little bit short on the play. And so Oakland in an interesting situation here. They're on the 38-yard line, 4th and 1. It'll be interesting to see if they send out the punt or field goal unit. Does look like the punt team comes out, so this is where we're going to get to see probably the most flamboyant and entertaining kicker in the league. Marquette King's going to drop this one inside the 20, and that's where it will be fair caught. So not much happening for Oakland on the first drive. They had some good things going for them there, but then stalled out. And now we're going to get to see the rookie once again, James, coming back out onto the field. First drive was beautiful. Obviously, they started with that good field position from the kick out of bounds, but James backed up this time. Let's see what he can do here. I'm thinking they're going to let Johnson get a little more involved in this game plan here as we go through here. 4 rushes, 13 yards. Pretty good game so far, but I want to see more Johnson this game.
Yeah, definitely. When you get backed up on your own 10, on your own 12, you don't want to make a mistake. We'll come out with a quick throw with a rookie, put it in the hands of your veteran halfback, a star veteran halfback, some might argue, and let him get the ball and see what can happen as they almost take a safety right there. And that's what happens when you have a young quarterback. Khalil Mack picks up a huge sack right there, and it puts him at the 1-yard line. And this is the rookie right here, and I'd expect the run here, and they just try to punt this ball and play the field position.
We talked about it at the opening. Alan James, 8 sacks coming into this game. One of the tops in the league for getting sacked. Khalil Mack adds to that the 9th sack so far this season. So protecting the merchandise, that rookie quarterback, not something they've done very well this season. But to this point, it's not cost them yet. This game we'll have to wait and see. Hand off to Johnson, and it's going to be a short gain on the wall or on the play. It's going to set them up for a punt here, and it looks like Arizona is going to concede that this drive just was not meant to be.
What's going on, Porter from the NBL, current owner of the Denver Broncos, probably doing a little scouting on the Oakland Raiders, as that rivalry, Sonny, was very nice last year. Raiders came in talking a lot of trash to the Denver Broncos as they have it looks like a flag on the kicker. Is that going to be roughing
that was a
the
big
kicker?
play right there. That's going to be roughing the kicker. Oakland had them backed up, but they're going to go ahead and get a first down off that play, and that is a huge momentum swing in this game.
And that's discipline. Where is the discipline at for Oakland? You need to come up with these situations and get the ball back. Now you let your defense back on the field, who played fairly well given the field position they had last time. But, man, come on. You can't make those mental errors. But, Sonny, let's talk about dangerous pass by Alan James right there. Let's talk about this rivalry between Porter, Denver Broncos, the Oakland Raiders, the AFC West. How did you feel about that rivalry when Porter took over the Broncos, I believe about a season and a half ago?
You know, rivalry gets thrown around so much these days. I'm not sure you can call it a rivalry when it's so one-sided. The Denver Broncos own that rivalry, and so, Oakland talked a big game early on in that, but to this point, Oakland can't get a win in that rivalry. So for what I'll call it a domination. That's what I'll call that. It's not a rivalry.
It's not a rivalry till Oakland wins. Until now, it's just a domination, the Denver domination. Hashtag it. It ain't going to trend over hashtag Carl overrated because that guy's putting in work to make that continue to trend on the NBL network. So as you see a little Wildcat ran by the Cardinals. One of Sonny hates the Wildcat, guys. Give us your feedback in the chat about the Wildcat this Madden so far. Sonny is really against it. He does not like that play, as he said in prior broadcasts. And it seems to be, I'm starting to see it more often and see people picking up positive yardage from it.
The Wildcat, it's easily defendable if you get your outside leverage playing up. You press the outside, and most guys are going to break outward, and you're not going to get anything on it. So I'm not a huge fan of the Wildcat. We saw it on the Week 1 NBL Live game. It really upended the Redskins' momentum, cost them in that game. I felt like a chance to win that. A couple drives, Kirk Cousins was moving the ball down the field. They went to the Wildcat. It killed it. If you guys want to check that out, we've got that archive. You can go back and check out how the Wildcat killed the Redskins' drive, NBL Week 1.
I think Kirk Cousins pretty much killed that game for him long before the Wildcat came around. But he was throwing to the wrong guy. He was confused on the jersey color of his team that game as James tries to squeeze it in there versus a drop coverage number 59 for the Oakland Raiders, making a nice play on the ball right there, putting them in a 3rd and long.
Let's talk a little bit about the retooled Oakland defense. Now they've changed it up a little bit. They bring in the veteran Wesley Woodyard to play the middle linebacker position for them. Obviously, Reggie Nelson leaves in free agency. They bring in Darian Stewart to take over that free safety position. This defense is just flat out not been good. A lot of problems in Oakland as far as the defense goes. I'm not sure if they're spending all that money on the offensive side of the ball. They've got a good future going forward.
Floyd's down. Floyd is down. He took a big hit from Oakland. Believe me, that will be reviewed by the administration team in the NBL. That looked a lot like helmet to helmet on that hit.
Well, when you're Oakland and you need to win a game, you're willing to do about anything. And so, and that's going to be a dangerous injury there. Dislocated hip. That could be a season injury for Arizona. When you've got that rookie quarterback, Alan James, out there looking for somebody to make plays, to lose your top wide receiver. 11 catches for 218 yards up to this point. Now gone. Possibly for the season.
Let's talk about that, Sonny. I mean, look at the situation Alan James came into. He was the 4th overall pick, NBL Season 21 rookie draft. High hopes, possibly the best quarterback on the board. Sunshine was his nickname, but it was looking a little gloomy for Sunshine coming in, knowing that they just lost John Brown to free agency. They couldn't come to a deal. Larry Fitzgerald's gone. So they just didn't have the weapons, and now they lose Michael Floyd. So where are they going to go from here?
That's the interesting thing. You've got Gresham, the tight end, who's had a pretty good year. You've got the rookie Lynn Coates, who may be looking to make a name for himself, and they're going to need him to step up here in this year, especially depending on how long Floyd will be out. Jerron Brown, we saw him earlier this game. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it definitely will. I mean, as Latavius Murray goes up the middle, gains about 4 yards, making it a 2nd and 6 for Oakland, approaching midfield right now. I look at Arizona, their offense, man, is so much upside. They got some youth, but they're not ready yet. And with Floyd going out, they're going to get those guys are going to get the experience, and it might help them in the long run. But right now, I don't think it's going to result in many wins for this offensive passing game if Michael Floyd is indeed out for a long duration of time.
Well, the nice thing is you do have that running back committee, David Johnson, Charles Sims III. You've got a good running back core there. They're just going to have to change up their philosophy. They're going to have to be a run-heavy team that just takes their shots when they get a shot.
Yeah, Cortez said the Wildcat is a hit or miss, knowing between either a touchdown or a tackle for loss. And I pretty much agree with that, Sonny. It just seems like that's the way it's been going. It's been either a touchdown or a tackle for loss when it comes to the Wildcat.
So Oakland moving the ball finally in this game is to the 45-yard line. It's been a good drive so far for him. Carr has been on point so far this drive. We haven't seen those bad reads, although he throws one there to Eifert that looks like it could have been a bad read if the linebacker steps into it, but he does complete that. Carr overrated has been something that has trended for a while in the league. I think that large contract he did receive was something that is only going to fuel that further. The question is, can he live up to such a big contract?
Yeah, man, I don't think he's really earned the contract that he got right now. So I don't know if he can live up to the big contract for Oakland, but I do know that they're putting all their eggs in one basket with Derek Carr, and they're putting the pieces around him. So we're gonna have to see how it plays out. And by the end of this year, if we don't see that improvement, that production moving forward, then we're gonna really question this hashtag Carr overrated is gonna be like a financial disaster for Oakland.
Yeah, here's the thing. When you put that much guaranteed money in it, $45 million of that 90 is guaranteed money. There's no going back at that point. You're kind of stuck with him. So you've basically hitched your wagon for the foreseeable future to this guy. In early returns this season, especially, have not been good. As we mentioned, 2 games, 4 pick sixes, 7 interceptions overall. Not a guy who makes good decisions with the ball. And when you're in a division like the AFC West, who's a pretty good division, that amount of turnovers is going to not result in a very good time.
As he hits Eifert, and you wonder that play to Eifert, you see that little quick out to him, right? And it's got him at a 3rd and inches. Eifert's got to be aware of where the sticks are. He's got to reach out for that and pick up the first down. This team has struggled in the red zone. They struggle when it gets close, and the defense can really pack it in on them. So It's just one of those things. Eifert got to do a better job. They paid him too. He's got to get out there and make some plays and make a play and pick up the first down on that second down instead of putting him in this 3rd and inches.
Yeah, this is a big 3rd and inches for him here. We'll see what Derek Carr does here at the line.
Yeah, it looks like they picked. Oh, they didn't pick it up. Seems like a bad spot for Oakland there. They're going to settle for a field goal. Man, it looked like he picked it up to me.
Yeah, it looked like the initial contact was behind the line, but after the contact...
That's a block! We got a block, baby! 94 takes it down to the 35. Terrence Knighton. Wow, that boy made a play right there.
Old Pot Roast trying to rumble down with the touchdown there, trying to do his best impression of Carlos Dunlap. However, he does get stopped at the 35-yard line. That's a big play there by the Arizona Cardinals, who are now going to stay up 7-0. Would have brought it a little bit closer there, but big play by the Cardinals.
Pot Roast makes a really nice block, and that just, man, it would be 7-3 right now. As another sack by Oakland. Is that Khalil Mack? The Khalil Mack sack attack is back. Say it twice. It's just that nice, guys. That's Khalil Mack with a nice sack on the rookie Allen James, and it just kind of pushes him out of field goal range. I was about to say, that free, it looked like it flipped the field, and they were in field goal range now. But taking that sack, they're going to need to get a couple more yards to get their kicker in field goal range with about 1:36:35 left before half.
Yeah, and that, once again, that is now 10 sacks on the year for Allen James. He's been sacked 10 times, and if you're going to have this rookie, you better protect him, and they're not doing a good job so far.
Oh, he's going over the top. Whoa, what a nice throw. James really trusting his wide receiver there. Number 13, Jerron Brown, gets him down to the 13 with a 1st and 10, and the clock is ticking 1:12. And the big point of this drive, the emphasis of this drive is they're going to get the ball back in the second half to start the 3rd. So it's really important for this team to come away with some points here.
Good handoff there to Johnson. Johnson breaking it down to the 7-yard line. That's a good play by Arizona there as they let that clock kind of milk away. Oakland not trying to call any timeouts, so they're settled for just trying to make a stand here.
Special teams plays a big part in this game, and early on, Arizona makes a big special teams play and stops Oakland, what would have been a guaranteed 3 points for them, flips the field on them, and now they're driving to put up points, and they get the ball at the beginning of the 3rd. So this is like huge. This is going to be that moment where you look back and you go, if they get 7 here, this was the game changer right here, and this might be what puts Oakland over the top, and when the Derek Carr interceptions start coming, because I guarantee they're coming. We just don't know when yet.
Interesting on that last play, Khalil Mack on the inside jumps out of contain, gives up the big run there. That was all on Khalil Mack coming out of his rush lane.
Going to be a touchdown for David Johnson as the engage 8 on the goal line couldn't stop. And yeah, that's a good point about Mack right there. Maybe lacking a little discipline for the star linebacker.
Lack of discipline has become a trend in Oakland over the last couple seasons. Obviously, we talked about Amari Cooper facing the 10-game suspension here coming up. You also have a couple years ago a loss of draft pick in the 3rd round, I believe. So Oakland, that organization, the management has lacked some discipline throughout. Once again, we talk about lack of discipline, a flag on that return, which would have been a great return coming back for an illegal block in the back. That starts with management and works its way down.
Yeah, it's just weird. We're seeing it off the field and on the field with this Oakland Raiders ball club. As you see right there, right on cue, Sonny, they pick up a flag for blocking the back. They got a special teams. They didn't block their guy. They didn't block Terrence Knighton. How do you miss that guy? How does he beat you off the edge? Terrence Knighton, and gets a block. And then on top of that, they get the ball punted back to him, and they rough the kicker and give Arizona a 1st down. As Carr almost throws an interception on the screen right there. You just got to let those go. It wasn't there. Get out the pocket and throw it away. There was a guy sitting right on that screen. They're sniffing him out. And that's why Arizona's the #1 pass defense. As John Blevins stated, Decadog stated in the chat, this is why they're the #1 pass defense in the NBL right now, because they make plays like that.
So it looks like Oakland's resigned to just go into halftime. They run it there. No timeouts called. We're going to go into half here. It looks like Arizona up 14-0 over Oakland in Oakland. Oakland 0-2 on the year, not looking good. Looks like maybe 0-3 on the horizon, but we still have a whole nother half here to play in Oakland. Want to take a second real quick to thank one of our sponsors, web3ks.com. Make sure you check out web3ks.com for all your affordable graphic needs.
Chances Oakland makes a comeback. I guess Oakland's getting the ball in this half. I was wrong. I guess Arizona got it first as they did on that opening drive. They did score 7. So maybe a little sign of life might come from the Oakland Raiders offense, or they can completely self-destruct with a Carr interception that we know is coming. I'm willing to bet everything I got he throws at least one before the end of the game, Sonny. And we're already halfway through. So there's only 2 quarters left. He will throw one.
If anybody in the chat wants to take that bet, I'm not going to bet on that one, though.
Anybody in the chat want to step up for an NBL Network t-shirt, but you got to put something back to the NBL. We'd say what? $3. $3 against that bet. We'll send you a brand new NBL Network extra large t-shirt if Carr does not throw an interception by the end of the game. But it's only to the first one that responds to it. As Carr finds number 12 underneath, I think that's John Brown working, coming from the outside, running a little shallow cross, putting them into a second and inches. I see a lot of these inches for the Raiders. It's like they're not aware of where the first down line is. You got to reach for that first down marker. Make it easier on your team. Pick up these first downs and move the sticks.
I agree, and this is Latavius Murray territory here, and we haven't seen much of him today. So Latavius Murray on second and inches, probably going to be a handoff here, and that's what it's going to be as Murray breaks a big hole up the middle, makes his way to the outside.
Touchdown, baby.
Wow, that is
touchdown,
a great
baby.
run.
And
Great
that
run
just
by
shows
Latavius Murray.
Explosion from Latavius Murray right there. He got to the outside. He turned the juice on. 14-7 Oakland. Sonny, are they back in this game?
You know, you got to believe they're in this game. I think at this point you take the ball out of hashtag Carr's overrated and you give it to hashtag Latavius still running. Let Murray do what he does. Let him run. Just let the man run.
Got to let the man run when he's averaging 5.5 yards per carry, and Carr's probably averaging close to 5 picks per game. That's obviously an overstatement, but that's how probably some of the fans feel. Let's run the ball. Let's ground and pound. Let's trust our defense. We have Khalil Mack, arguably the best linebacker in the NBL. Let's let him work.
Yeah,
Pressure
so
on Arizona
was playing with a big lead there. That lead gets cut down a little bit. If you're Oakland, you've got to get this game close and keep it close to unleash these pass rushers. Like we said, James is not very good at avoiding pressure in the pocket. Good run there by Johnson. So you want to send those blitzes. You want to get to James, make the rookie freak out, confuse him, show him things he hasn't seen yet. He's had 2 starts so far. Give him some exotic blitzes. Confuse that rookie out there.
And what's up, James, from Ireland, all the way from Ireland, turning into the NBL. I believe we saw him on the Uber YouTuber stream not too long ago, and he subscribed to the NBL. Appreciate that. Thank you, man. And what's up?
Good stop there by the Oakland defense. Johnson just not having a great game so far. They had a little success early on. I'm still waiting for that big run. Johnson is he's very out of the backfield.
A little bit of mic technical difficulties coming from Sonny's mic. We're going to try to clean that up a little bit right now as Alan James steps back and
maybe
drives
some screen
a shallow
passes,
cross.
something to get Johnson involved in the passing game.
Yeah, we'd like to see some screens, something underneath to get Alan James going. In the passing game, definitely to keep the defense a little honest as they're going to be punting back to Oakland, and Oakland has an opportunity here. Tie the game up as Amari Cooper's returning kicks for them right now. Haven't seen him get loose, but we always know he's very dangerous back there, number 89. We're going to try to get some technical difficulties with Sonny's mic back up and running right now as Oakland comes out in a strong set right here. Derek Carr in the center, a little bubble screen to Amari Cooper. Let him run, let him run. Doesn't happen. Looks like for no gain, Pat Peterson with a nice tackle. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Oakland Raiders. I'm going to ask the guys in the chat right now, what do you guys think about Oakland's opportunity to come back right here? Stay with the ground and pound, or should they try to air it out a little bit on Arizona and test this defense? Second and 10, 4:07 left in the third quarter. Oakland's already a dent in that lead, scoring on their first drive. They come out in the pistol set Watch Cooper here on the little sit right there in the middle of the field. He doesn't. He decides to go to the tight end. No, to Jordy Nelson in the flat. Very slow at this age of his career. Gets to the flat, picks up 4. Still a reliable set of hands, Jordy Nelson is, for the Oakland Raiders.
Another one of their big offseason acquisitions, Jordy Nelson, those big rack yards. Not his thing any much, but he can spot up and get you those big first downs on short passing.
Yeah, dependable, reliable target, intermediate to short distances. But he runs such crisp routes, and he turns his shoulders, and he gives you a nice target for Derek Carr. And I expect him to have a lot more success as the season matures and their relationship and chemistry grows. Play action, and he doesn't see him. He's down. There's the ball picked up by Oakland. But Derek Carr just he needs to watch the movie The Blind Side and give that guy a call because he needs that on his offensive line. He did not see that guy coming off the edge.
-8 coming into this game, turnover differential. If it's not interceptions, it's fumbles. This Oakland team cannot hold on to the ball.
Yeah, big turnover right there is number 14 for the Arizona. Makes a nice little move between 2 guys. Pause. And gets to the 31. It's going to be 1st and 10. And that was J.J. Nelson, one of the quickest, fastest guys in the NBL. Very electric on kick and punt returns.
I'm a little surprised Nelson hasn't been involved more this season. Obviously, he had some drops last season, but they thought he could be a guy that could step up with the departure of John Brown to try to alleviate some of the issues left behind. With Floyd's departure now to injury, you may see more of J.J. Nelson coming into this game.
Definitely. They could definitely use him and try to put him in some packages to allow him to use his speed and his athleticism to get over top. But let's look there. They blocked Johnson there, and David Johnson wants big money, but they ask him to block, and he completely misses. That linebacker does not pick up the block and forces Alan James to throw it a little bit early to Jerron Brown, who seems to be his favorite target right now as Jerron Brown picks up the first down. And he threw it early the play before this, and it caused an incompletion. So we need to see more from David Johnson in the pass protection game, man. That's going to be part of making big money as a halfback in the NBL.
3 for 71 to Brown, and he's having a big game right now as he picks up his 4th reception on the game, it looks like, with that throw. So big plays so far from Jerron Brown, and he looks to be the guy they're looking to make up for the loss of Floyd in this game.
Yeah, you look again, that's 3 targets in a row to Jerron Brown. He got a little bit early. Even when Floyd was there, he was getting a little bit of targets, but now it seems he's getting a heavy dose. That's the one that the rookie trusts the most. And we see this with rookie quarterbacks. They go into these phases as he finds the tight end down to the 7-yard line. Quick little out route against the cover 0 blitz, and the Raiders defense looks like it's going to allow some more points to the Arizona Cardinals.
I don't know if you're noticing this, but Oakland, they're twice challenging the rookie with all-out blitzes, man blitzes, and he's finding the open receivers both times. Oakland trying to get aggressive here, and it is not paying off.
Little stretch play to the outside. David Johnson doesn't pick up anything, and well, the aggressiveness paid off there, but I would like to see Arizona keep it in the air on that one and keep Oakland off balance. I think it was a little too predictable to run the ball after picking up that first down and getting within the 10.
Wow, big hole there for Johnson.
And he walks in. And here's the problem with the Raiders. Look at the defense that they just ran. Was that quarter, dollar, cover 2? How can you run that kind of defense when you get that close to the line? You know, you're going to get too much push from the offensive line. You're outmatched, and you're relying a lot on your linebackers to drop in coverage and then make a play against the rush. Just not a smart defensive call from the defensive coordinator in Oakland, and that's probably why they give up so many points in the NBL. That was not ideal, especially playing against the Arizona team who loves to run the ball with David Johnson when they get in the red zone.
Yeah, that was hashtag Johnson in the face right there for Oakland. They just got to get somebody to hit that guy because that was way too much for them to handle there. Oakland's trailing 7-21. Now, Bomber, who took you up on that bet? Because this would be classic Derek Carr interception period right here.
Absolutely nobody. I think it was the $3 that shied them away from taking that bet, or maybe they just don't value the NBL Network shirt at $3. But nobody took the bet. People actually were doubling down, trying to take the bet I offered to other people. That's how crazy it's getting. They were saying, I think he's going to throw 2. I think JY said he's going to throw more than that, maybe a couple to 3. So Derek Carr comes out in shotgun, empty back set, and this is where it could happen. Timeout Arizona burns one early. I never like to burn my timeouts in the third quarter. Obviously, they saw something that they did not like, and they decide to regroup on the defensive end, maybe give their guys a breather for this 2nd and 2.
Yeah, they didn't like the formation there. You saw Latavius Murray wide out to the side with 2 tight ends next to him. So didn't like the formation they saw there to take the timeout. Good call there by Arizona here as Carr sets up in the shotgun on 2nd down. He is going to throw that across to Latavius Murray, who drops the ball. That's a big hit, big drop by Latavius Murray, setting up 3rd and 2 here.
And great safety play there, number 20 right there coming down. And holding the halfback on the Texas route and staying with them and making a nice play. Homer said in the chat, I would like to see the Raiders not abandon the run. Me too. There's still a lot of time left. But I'm going to go off of history of this owner and the play calling from their offensive coordinator, and I'm going to say it's just not in their DNA. They feel pressured right now. They feel like they're going to have to get the ball down the field, and even though on a 3rd and 2 they just go for the sticks and they don't pick it up, and now they're going to have to punt. They're really putting themselves in this situation. On the 3rd and short, Sonny, we're seeing them go for the sticks a lot. Why not go to the intermediate to deep on those and take a shot? Hit a play action and take your chance down the field. It's almost like they're playing hesitant because they've thrown so many interceptions already this season.
Well, like you talked about, the only success they found this year is Latavius Murray running the ball. To abandon that in this game, I get it, you're down a couple scores. There's still a whole quarter left to play. You've got to run the ball. Short downs there, short down in yardage, I should say. You've got to run the ball there. Let Murray pick up that 1st down instead of throwing short, not getting it. Once again, that coaching staff, not sure what they're seeing up there, but it doesn't seem to be working.
Just more of David Johnson on a nice counter out of a pistol formation, counter Y. And they're just picking up that zone blitz, and they're getting to the next level, which is going to put a lot of pressure on the back end of that zone in Oakland. The defensive coordinator needs to figure something out. It seems like they're sending a lot of guys to try to get pressure, and when they're getting picked up, it's just pretty much David Johnson. Another counter run to David Johnson. This one goes nowhere as he tries to change direction at the last second. Back-to-back counters for Arizona against Oakland, going to put them at a 3rd and 5.
Interesting what they're doing here. Lil Mack, they feel like he's over pursuing the run. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to catch him over pursuing, cutting to the backside. Oakland doing a job shutting that down. So good job there by the Oakland defensive line, not over pursuing the counter runs.
Here's Allen James again under center. Are we going to get a heavy dose of David Johnson? No. He sits back in another drop back zone from the Raiders. So when they send the heat, and every other time they're just sinking as they run the cover 2 sink there, and they allow a slant to get to the 2nd window in the middle of the field and pick up the 1st down. Fairly easy for James, a quarterback that's been sacked 10 times. You'd think you'd want to keep him on his toes, but he's just standing in that pocket like a number 4 overall pick, man, and he's showing his potential here. He seems very confident. He doesn't seem shook by these guys coming as he gets hit on a blindside hit right there. A little linebacker coming, shooting the gap on a cover 0 blitz from Oakland. One thing I'd like to say, Sonny, about Allen James is, man, he seems to struggle understanding when that cover 0 is coming, that Oakland loves to run. And I think that's kind of like something that he will mature into and say, okay, it looks like a blitz is coming here. Let me make an adjustment here and give me something quick to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, something you're really not seeing a whole lot of are line adjustments. You're not shifting the coverage, and that's something rookies do have to learn over time is know when to, slide the line to the left, slide the line to the right, pick it up. You should know, especially on that cover 0 blitz, that you see the man coverage on the outside, those guys backed up off the line. You've got to see that, change protection, give yourself some time to throw, and that's something he'll learn the more he plays.
David Johnson with another nice run picks up a 1st down as another slant pass from the Arizona Cardinals takes them to about midfield at the 52nd and 7. If they come away with any points on this drive, I'd say it's doomsday for the Oakland Raiders.
Look at that, 6 receptions for Jerron Brown, over 100 yards, and he's been the big benefactor so far of the Floyd injury. He's going to be a guy outside of this game as you're looking forward to the guy who's going to take over. That looks to be the guy they're going to lean on as James throws it away. Smart play by James not to take the sack, just get rid of the ball there. Good move by the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I definitely have seen some really positive things from this quarterback. A couple things, obvious things he needs to work on, but what rookie quarterback doesn't? Really liking what I see from Allen James thus far in this game, even though it's against the Oakland Raiders, who have been pretty pathetic on the defensive side of the ball early in the season.
So 3rd and 7 here with 4:39 left in this game. This may be the game right here. Oakland's got to come away with the stop here. James dropping back to throw the ball, throws to the outside. It's caught, and that's down to the 35, and the clock's going to keep ticking. And Arizona's in position to score again here, go up 3 scores, and probably ice this game away.
Yeah, man, it's just too easy. I mean, that was his first read, and he was open, man. 89 coming in as a rookie as well. Tight end looking to play some more as he's getting all day in the pocket right there. It looks like 17 could possibly walk it in. Oh, he stepped out at the 1. I would like to challenge that play. Another bad defensive call by the Oakland Raiders. It seems like every time they get within the red zone, within the 30, you see a cover 1, cover 0 blitz that comes that just pretty much, if you don't get pressure, it's just giving the Arizona Cardinals opportunities to shred the secondary of the Oakland Raiders.
But let's talk about the wide receiver stepping out at the 1. What are you doing? As they swarm Johnson, Johnson loses 1 on the play. You've got to get in the end zone. There was no one around you. How do you step out at the 1-yard line?
And we got a little quote from our JY, our statistician, JY, as Arizona looks to punch this one in. Can they get in? Oh, they get David Johnson stuffed on 2nd and goal. It's going to be 3rd and goal. Let me read a little bit off from this quote. It's about the free agent pickups on the wide receivers and all that talent. The owner of the Raiders said, let's see if I can pull it up here. He said, no one on the offensive side of the ball feels like they are king. We have a trio of Cooper, Brown, Eifert for the next 4 seasons. Those two guys we just brought in the last offseason have tremendous respect for Cooper, and he is the receiver that is going to be our guy. When we asked Cooper about those free agent pickups, he was really excited, and he looks forward to playing around and learning from a veteran like Jordy Nelson. So that comes from the front office about how does Amari Cooper feel about you bringing in all these wide receivers. I mean, they got 7 points right now. So, I mean, all those great feelings, the pressure's going to start going. They got 7 points right now against Arizona. They're about to move to 0-3. How long does this honeymoon of let's all share the ball, let's all be friends, last before they start turning on each other? Because there's a lot of personalities on this Oakland Raider offense right now.
Yeah, I got to ask myself a question. Where's Tyler Eifert? You pay the man $10 million a year. Nowhere to be found. So you got to start asking a lot of questions here. Carr's going to go ahead and drop back and get sacked here on the play down to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and remember when they signed Tyler Eifert, Sonny, not to cut you off, but they said Tyler Eifert might be the best signing the Raiders have ever made in free agency. That's what they said immediately following the signing of Eifert, and just to use him so sparingly right now, it just doesn't seem that way. Does he really even fit in a system like Oakland?
Well, it's a situation where there's only so many balls to go around, and it seems like Eifert, this game at least, has not been the recipient of that. There's Derek Carr, classic Derek Carr, throwing the interception. That's going to seal the game's focus. Tyrann Mathieu comes up with the interception, picking off Derek Carr. But back to my point, Tyler Eifert's open there on the little out route, but instead they choose to try to force it to Amari Cooper, the man who said he doesn't need all the balls. They force it to Amari Cooper, basically ending this game.
Yeah, tough loss for Arizona to lose Michael Floyd, but man, they didn't look like they lost a step. Time will tell, but against this Raider defense, it just really hasn't shown. So you got one team that's just playing with whoever they bring in. They got Jerron Brown leading their team in receptions and yards right now, right? Then on the other side, you got Amari Cooper, Jordy Nelson, Tyler Eifert, John Brown. That's 4 guys, all which would be number 1 receivers for this Arizona team right now, losing and only have put up 7 points thus far. And the bright side of their offense has been their running game. So, like, throw all that into a hat and tell me which one is most affecting this team. The fact that they have all these stars and they can't figure it out, or the fact that even with all these stars as wide receivers, their running game is the best part of their offense.
I think it's a classic situation of not knowing what you are, but trying to be what you want to be. This team, good offensive line, good running back. You are a running team first. It sets up the pass. Instead, they try to pass first to set up the run, and it just does not work. They need to establish the run first to have a shot to win these games.
And the Denver Broncos of the NBL just tweeted out, I mean, if this isn't shots fired, I know that the Raiders have not beaten the Broncos. And the rivalry in your mind isn't a rivalry until the Raiders win. But their last tweet, can you guess what hashtag they just used, Sonny?
Hashtag car over.
I mean, it's so obvious. It's like 1 + 1 is 2 right now. The Denver dominance continues. They're not dominating them just on the field, but they're taking it to social media as well. You got to love it in the NBL when you see the Denver Broncos coming out and tweeting hashtag car overrated right after a pick. Is that trolling, Sonny? Would that be considered trolling, or is that just Denver dominance shining?
That's reality.
That's reality. There you have it.
Once again, to point out the inability for this organization to have any sort of composure in tough situations. They take an illegal block in the back on that kickoff, moving them back to the 10-yard line, and they can't end this game quick enough. Interestingly enough, this is a home game. I can only imagine what's going to happen when they get in some of these tougher environments on the road later this year.
Little play action by Derek Carr finds number 12, John Brown, former Arizona Cardinal. Is he regretting testing free agency and taking all that money, 4 receptions, 32 yards. And you realize John Brown is an electric player. 4 receptions, 32 yards is just not – you don't want John Brown catching the ball and heading to the sideline and getting out of bounds. You want him in the middle of the field catching the ball and going. And it just doesn't seem like the Raiders really understand how to utilize somebody of that ability yet.
14 of 18 for 116. Derek Carr's stat line. This classic Carr. I didn't add in there 1 interception, but checking it down, not trying to push it down the field because he's scared as he takes a sack there. He's scared to throw interceptions.
The time he threw it slightly farther than the intermediate route, it got picked. So, I mean, I would like to see his completion percentage and his attempts. What it's like when he throws it past 15 yards in the air, 12 yards in the air. I would say he was probably close to the bottom of the league, and I would say the interceptions are probably through the roof.
You just gave this guy a $7 million contract, though. What were you doing? What were you doing with that contract as he almost throws an interception there? This seems like it's more of a ownership group that likes the person over the player they see on the field.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play.
Yeah, guys, coming up in week 5. This is week 3 right now. So we'll have another week. It'll be about, 2-day advance, 48 hours. And then we have week 5. That's right, the Building the Franchise Bowl. If you follow our Building the Franchise series, we have the New England Patriots and Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to play in their second game. The first one was a tough grind-out game that the Patriots won. They got their young quarterback Dorian, and the Jaguars have Drew Brees, who reunited with Sean Payton as his head coach in Jacksonville. A lot of positive things going over there. They're 3-0. So they're looking for some revenge, Sonny. Are the Jacksonville Jaguars going to be able to pull out that Building the Franchise Bowl and even that series up 1-1 in week 5 this year?
Oh, I think so. If you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, their turnover differential is insane. Plus 13 right now on the turnover differential. So Jacksonville Jaguars, very opportunistic, a game that I'm really looking forward to calling here in week 5.
Shout out to Raiden Ravens again, YouTube content creator. Go check him out and subscribe to his channel, which you probably already are. Then that might be why you're here. He just put in the chat, this one is getting ugly. It got ugly really quick. It seemed like the game was, possibility 4 minutes in the third quarter. Oakland had the ball. They were down 14-7, Sonny. And it looked at that point, maybe Oakland can get back in this game and then anything can happen. But it just never panned out, and Oakland just continued to play undisciplined football. And turn the ball over and just not pick up those 3rd and short and move the chains, man. It just seemed like they really struggled on 3rd and short.
Yeah, Oakland, Latavius Murray, the forgotten man there. They bring in all the high-priced receiving options, and they forget about the guy who really moves the sticks and makes things happen. So, tough game for Latavius Murray. And if I'm going to guess, he's going to go back to the locker room asking a lot of questions about why he didn't get the ball more. Bomber, it's that time of the game. NBL Live player of the game as they're going to kneel the clock out here. Who do you got for the NBL Live player of the game?
Okay, this is tough. I mean, I want to go with David Johnson at halfback, but I really like what Jerron Brown did. And because Jerron Brown sounds so much like John Brown that you got to confuse, and John Brown's actually on the other team, much better player on paper, they say. But Jerron Brown showed him out tonight. So I'm going to go with Jerron Brown for all those reasons. He had over 100 yards receiving, I believe 6 or 7 catches. played a tremendous game, and he stepped up for his team when they needed it when Michael Floyd went down early.
There you have it. Jaron Brown is going to be your NBL Live Player of the Game. As you point out, picking it up for the injured Michael Floyd. Will be interesting to watch going forward how that works. Obviously, this game on short notice, Brown steps up, becomes the one. A lot of options in Arizona about who that could be going forward. That'll be the end of the game, though. Arizona takes this one 27-7 here in Oakland over the Oakland Raiders. Raiders move to 0-3. Cardinals move to 3-0. For all of us here at NBL Live, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. As Bomber pointed out, make sure you tune in for Week 5 Patriots versus Jaguars. I'm Sonny Weaver alongside Bomber. This has been NBL Live, and we'll see you next time.